Alexa, play Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. You guys heard me right. We're going to kick it off with some JT. Happy hour, guys. It is the end of Tuesday, May 12th, and it's time to put something in your glass and join us. Can y'all hear the rain in the background? Oh, man. Love JT getting me kicked off. I got to get some energy. It's rainy weather. I'm inside today. Got a little beat going. You guys know the drill. We are in week 8 of Happy Hour, and I shouldn't have to tell you this. You know to hop in the comments, say hi, let us know where you are, what's in your glass. If you're a first timer, we want to see 3 stars from you because we want to shout you out. Happy hour from inside today, inside my abode. It's quite a stormy Central Texas day. Cheers. I'm glad Terry and Tiffany are on the Justin Timberlake train today. This is a throwback song, y'all. I used to jam out to this, like, loud, up the volume. I think there was a lot of controversy around this song too, right? I think this was about the time he broke up with Britney, and they were saying, like, is the girl in the music video actually Britney or not? Is he, like, talking about her? Controversy, guys. The controversy of the day, whether or not Justin Timberlake was poking at Britney Spears in his music video. Woo. Oh, to be in those days again. Alta, what is up? Dreary Tuesday. That is right. In Frisco, drinking some Mourvèdre. Jeffrey in Arlington. Sparkling water, bro. What is going on? I mean, I get it. It doesn't matter. Anything in your glass. We said that. You can come with anything in your glass. Just do better tomorrow. Eric, good to see you in Austin, checking in from San Antonio. Also with some Topo Chico and a twist of lime. Man, it's just like one of those days. Folks are doing the sparkling water thing. Okay, well, no worries. Paul, what is up? President accounted for 17500 Block Merlot, straight from William Chris. We love that. Crystal, good to see you. Terry with some Cinso in Hayes County. Elise, you're at William Chris. Good to see you on Happy Hour. Let's see who else. Renda, San Antonio. Crystal's drinking rosé. Love it. South Austin, Susan drinking Artist Blend 17. I like that Artist Blend a lot. Is that the one? I think that's the one with the Finch, right? If I get those right. Alan, Treviano, and Sugarland. You guys know we're giving folks a couple minutes to get in the room. You to get something in your glass. Me to dance a little bit to Justin Timberlake. Yo. Also, if you haven't noticed, check out my sexy new hat. There were 3 of us, count it, 3 of us on leadership at the winery today on video calls, and all 3 of us were wearing this hat right here, and you need one. On the back, if you flip it around, little William Chris logo. I'm digging it, not gonna lie. I've been wearing these hats the past couple days. Need to cover up my my COVID lack of haircut situation. No worries. Anthony, good to see you. Even though you're commenting on the William Chris account, you know, again, gotta be taking it over. Water day. Okay, I feel it. A lot of people on that water day today. It's like that midweek, gotta chill out, hydrate maybe for a moment. That's okay. Guys, Alexa, off. Yo, that's what this has been about since the get-go, right? Let's be real for a sec. We're in week 8. And you guys are still logging on, and it doesn't matter what's in your glass. We did this so you can mark the end of your day. You could build time to connect with us online every day, and you've been doing that. So, like, bring your water. Get that sparkling goodness, you know, twist the lime, Topo Chico situation, and just come hang out with us. Like, we want to help you mark the end of your workday because we're not packing up our stuff in a cubicle and leaving the building. We are probably closing our laptop and moving it to the coffee table. Or you're logging on to this, you know, closing those work windows, closing your email, keeping it open and logging on with us. So I'm just excited that you're here with us. So good to see you guys. Tempe, what is up? I am over the moon. We've got some really cool special guests here today, including my friend Ari, who you're going to get to meet in just a sec. Don't let us stop you from checking in with us in the comments. 3 stars for any first timers. I'm going to bring up a few familiar faces from William Chris, and first and definitely not least is my friend Kelsey in the marketing department.
Hello.
Kelsey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you and what are you drinking, friend?
I am in South Austin, Southwest, I guess, and I am drinking some Malbec Bolin by none other than William Chris.
Cheers, friend. That sounds delicious.
Cheers.
Guys, and as I've mentioned before, Kelsey is part of our dynamite marketing team. All of these emails and virtual tastings and virtual happy hours and all the stuff that you are seeing as fans of ours, Kelsey and her teammate Leah are behind all of that. So big shout out to their team and all the hard work they've been putting in. They are why you're hearing from William Chris on the regular and why there is a golden ticket contest going on right now. Willy Wonka style. I didn't say that out loud. Don't trademark confused. But, anyways, Kelsey, thank you for joining us today. It's good to see your face. We'll bring you back up here in just a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
All right, next up we have from High Estate, Luke. How are you, sir?
Hey. I am doing very well. Thank you. I'm here on a soggy afternoon, but it's beautiful. Drinking a little High Cross Tempranillo 2017. Dirk, I know you're out there. I almost reached for Farmhouse Movedra, and then I said, I better not. I'm going to save that for Dirk. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Luke. It's good to see you. For all of you out there, you have likely met Luke. You've likely seen Luke. You've likely hung out with Luke. He is our fearless tasting room manager, and I know that he is working really hard behind the scenes for the time that will come in the future when we will open back up and be able to welcome you back to the High Estate property. So, Luke, thanks for all the hard work you're putting in behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
That will come to fruition in the coming weeks, and excited for you to be able to host our fans back out at the estate.
We can't wait to get you back to your second home. Thank you.
Cheers, friend. We'll bring you back up here in just a little bit. All right, checking in. Anthony wants to know if anybody has a golden ticket yet. Yeah, let us know. If you're a golden ticket holder, maybe make sure don't put your address on there. Somebody might come hunt you down. But let us know in the comments. Has anybody gotten one yet? Okay, guys, we have a very special guest today, and it's time to bring her up for you to meet her for the first time. No grand introduction yet. That's coming. But I'd love to introduce everybody to my friend Ari. Ari, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Where are you located currently, and what are you drinking, friend?
I am in Northwest Austin, and I'm actually drinking beer right now because it is May 12th, 512 day, and so this is the 512 Cascabel Cream Stout.
I love that. I totally didn't make the connection that it was 512 day. Well, good on you, and folks will find out very soon, if they don't already know, that you drink quite broadly and know a lot about beer and wine and spirits and all of the awesome stuff that's going on in Central Texas in regards to those things. So makes sense that you're drinking a 512. Cheers, friend. I'm excited you're here. We're going to talk a little bit later. You're going to convince me why Tempranillo is legit. But we will talk a little bit later in the wine nerd section. I'll see you soon, friend.
All right, sounds great.
Guys, Alan, what is up in Toronto? Having a Bobby Burns. I love it. Susan picked up 2 packs and no golden ticket yet. Bill says no golden ticket for him. Man, Brian says, guys, there's a lot of no golden tickets. That means there's likely 5 of them still out there. All right, so let's talk about the wine of the day. I've already been drinking a fair amount of it. So let me hold up the bottle to where you can see it. So we have got a William Chris Grenache from Lehigh Vineyards in the Texas High Plains, and the vintage 2017. So we've talked about this in the past. 2017 was an incredible vintage in Texas. We would call it textbook. This Grenache, so Grenache has a tendency, before I jump into this one, Grenache has a tendency to shoot up in alcohol and get really ripe really fast if you're not paying attention to it. It's grown very widely in Spain, southern France, and a lot of places around the world, including in Texas. Now, one of the great things about the 17 vintage, because it was such a great vintage, is the ripeness was just right, and the winemakers could make the decision when to pull it off the vine. And this came in under 14% alcohol. So let's check it out on the label. Remember, alcohol is always listed on the label, guys. That's a legal requirement. So if you're ever wondering, is this low alcohol, medium alcohol, high alcohol, you can always check the label. So in the US, it's required. This particular bottle is 13.9. So coming in just under 14, which for Grenache is great. That means it's likely to lead to a lighter, more lifted aromatic profile, one that is maybe a touch floral. So let's test that out. Okay, yep. Now, a little trick about tasting and smelling wine, guys. And I learned this probably just about 8-10 months ago. One of my fellow classmates in my diploma class was describing how when you have a wine and you stick your nose straight in the glass, which is what we normally all do because we're trying to smell the things, sometimes you can miss floral aromatics that a lot of times float above the glass. And so before you stick your schnoz all the way in and dive in, spend a little bit of time, give it a swirl, and smell across the top of the glass. Because a lot of times you'll pick up the floral aromatics across the top of the glass. For some reason, chemically, those aromatics a lot of times will sit just above the glass. And so this definitely has that. I was hoping that it would. Grenache sometimes will show these very pretty floral notes. You know, I think here it's like that very sweet, like white flower. Yeah, very sweet white flower note. And then red fruits like crazy, guys, like cherry and raspberry. Maybe a little bit underripe, almost on the tart side. It's got good acidity, but not racing acid. This is not a big like white wine that's super acidic and crisp. It's just got balance, honestly. Good red fruit, little bit of flour, and maybe just a touch of dry herbs. Get a little bit of like that garrigue note that we talk about in Rhone blends a lot. It's awesome. Honestly, this Grenache might be one of my favorite wines at William Chris. We actually, myself and Chef Ty, we worked on pairing this as one of the, in my opinion, one of the best pieces of the food and wine pairing for the Chef's Food and Wine Experience. This was, in my opinion, our best work, me and Chef working together. I think this is a delicious wine. There's not a ton of it out there in the world. It is a light lifted Grenache, and those are hard to come by. I do recommend about a 30-minute chill in the fridge. I did that prior to opening it here, and it makes a world of difference, especially when you want those lighter tasting notes to happen. So food-wise, guys, you know, I'm not one to eat a lot of vegetables, but it's grill season and it's sometimes hard to pair with vegetables, but I'm really going grilled vegetable skewers here. You could do some lemon and garlic, roast chicken. And the kicker here is if you're just going to do cheese, you got to go with an aged cheddar. Okay. Not just like your typical, you know, yellow cheddar from the grocery store kind of situation, but like get a nice aged cheddar and pair this together. And those two things are going to sing. So anyways, making myself hungry. That always happens at this point. So, man, I'm really happy that we're opening the 17 Grenache and I'm getting to drink this today. So enough about me talking about Grenache. It is time to bring up my friend Ari because it is time for the wine nerd section of today's episode. So let me bring up Ari. Ari, you there with us still?
I am. Hello.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I'm going to put up a little blurb on the screen and make sure that folks can send in questions for you and give you a proper introduction. Guys, Ari spent many, many years as the booze beat writer and editor at the Austin American Statesman here in Austin. And brings just, I think, like one of the broadest knowledge bases of booze in the industry, really, in Central Texas. I think a lot of people specialize. Like, I'm very much a wine guy. You know, there's a lot of folks who are very beer oriented. And when you cover the booze beat, you got to have such a broad understanding and depth of knowledge in order to write about it and interact with it and enjoy it. Let's be honest, it's really about pleasure. So very, very happy and thankful that you can spend some time with us today. So one, thank you. Guys, we are very lucky to have quite the established journalist with us. If you guys have questions while Ari is chatting with me today, please shoot them into the comments. We would love to get her some of your questions. But today, before we jump into Tempranillo, which, complicated relationship over here, I would love for you to tell us where you're originally from and how did your booze journey get started?
Okay, sure. I am originally from Houston, but I moved here for college and went to St. Ed's. And a group of girlfriends and I had kind of started this blog in college because we were like, hey, we want to stay connected once we graduate. Let's start writing about something that we love. And it was craft beer. But we noticed, hey, and this was, I think, back in like 2011, 2012. And, we noticed that there weren't a whole lot of women who were at craft breweries. They were maybe there with boyfriends or, but they weren't there by themselves because they love craft beer. And so we started the blog Bitch Beer to kind of bring more women into craft beer. And so that is one why I love it. Craft beer will always be my first love, I think. And it meant that I kind of had to do, when I got the job at the Statesman, it kind of meant I had to do catch up on, what about good wine and spirits and cocktails and what are all the good bars in Austin and all of that. So that was that was a fun learning curve, I guess.
No kidding, but not bad homework.
Yeah, really not. So
today I asked you to talk about Tempranillo, and I apologize. There's some folks talking about audio issues. I don't know, Ari, if maybe you have your phone sitting on a hard surface, it might be an echo from my voice. Yep, I think that might have been it. So, guys, she is here to talk about Tempranillo, and I have to confess that I still have a complicated relationship with Tempranillo. It is very rare for me to find a Tempranillo that I can get excited about. And I'll say this. I used to be an ABC white wine drinker, which for those of you out there who don't know what that means, it's an anything but Chardonnay white wine drinker. And my mind has since been changed. And I love Chardonnay. And it's actually been one of the things I have had more than any other variety during quarantine. And so I guess let's start out by saying, one, why Tempranillo? We could have talked about anything, and you were like, man, let's talk about Tempranillo. So talk to me, convince me. What do we need to know about Tempranillo, and why do you love it?
Okay, well, let's start. First of all, I said I had that learning curve about wine and spirits and all that. So when I first started out, I would go to bars and I would kind of have a litmus test of, well, let me try your old fashioned. And so I would go to different bars around Austin and try their old fashioned because, if you can compare the same drink, then you can get a better idea of, well, what's the caliber of this place. Best old fashioned Austin, by the way, is at Whistler's. Anyways.
No doubt. Can we just pause for a second and agree on that? Holy mother, I love the Whistler's old fashioned. I also used to love it. What was that Rainy Street bar that was cool before Rainy was cool?
Luster Pearl?
It wasn't Luster Pearl, it was Clive. Was it Clive? I think it was Clive. I was obsessed with the old fashioned at Clive back before Rainy Street became a thing. Don't get me started. We don't have to go there. But yes, Whistler's old fashioned. We're back on track.
Yes. So I kind of, when I kind of got into, I guess, Texas wine a little bit later than, the beer and the cocktails and stuff. And so I was noticing as you go to different wineries, well, hey, seems to be a Tempranillo on every wine list in Texas wineries. And so I kind of decided, well, let's try the same thing, the old fashioned test. And so I would go to different wineries and try their Tempranillo. And so I think I kind of grew a love for it from there. And what I loved about it is kind of how versatile it is. It can be like this kind of fresh, fruity thing. I mean, obviously not as fresh and fruity as, some, but and then you can also it can satisfy like a Cabernet drinker in some ways, more oaked and stuff. So I've always loved that about it. And I think it also, from talking to winemakers, it just does really well in Texas. It's kind of hardier with our crazy weather. And then it kind of ripens early. So winemakers can be ready for it in July or whenever. And
Yeah, so you don't have to worry too much. Sometimes you get that crazy weather, and later in the season, and
Yes.
it has to hang out later. You might have issues with rain or who knows what.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, well, over the years, you probably tried a lot of Tempranillos, and you don't. I mean, I know your love of William Chris. I know it is real, and whether or not you want to admit that on camera, guys, Ari loves William Chris.
I'm a wine club member. I can say that.
Yay! I wasn't gonna say it for you, but I'm glad you said it, guys. Ari's a wine club member. She's part of the William Chris fam. So I know that William Chris has a ton of Tempranillo. We make Tempranillo a lot, but you've also tasted a lot of Tempranillos over your days and years, giving the old-fashioned test. Which, by the way, like I have to say, I appreciate that idea. I do the same thing with Tex-Mex spots. I don't know if you're the same way, but like there are so many different Mexican food, Tex-Mex spots in Austin. And I want to be able to compare, especially if I go to a new place. I want to try their salsa and I want to try their beef enchiladas. And that's like my old-fashioned test. If you have good fresh salsa and you have good beef enchiladas, then I know that that's like, for me, the tell of a good place. And it sounds like the same way that you've done both with old fashions at good cocktail bars and Tempranillos at Texas wineries.
Yeah.
So maybe share a little bit about your exposure and experience. You have non-William Chris favorites that you would also recommend. Is William Chris one of those favorites?
I mean, y'all have a great Tempranillo. I do tend to love y'all's Mourvedras, but
Same.
yes. If I'm gonna have a William Chris wine, it's probably the Mourvedra or yeah.
I love that. So
yeah.
talk to me about, it's okay to talk about, our friends up and down the road.
Yes.
We can mention other people's names.
Yes.
We are in this Texas wine industry together, and what lifts others up lifts us all up. So do you have some other favorites that are not William Chris?
Yeah, so I love what Pedernales does. I love that they kind of put a focus on, Texas has the Texas High Plains region for growing grapes, and then the Texas Hill Country. And I like that they kind of single those out and do specific blends for them. And so it's really cool to kind of see how Tempranillo grows differently in the High Plains versus in the Hill Country. I love what they do there. And then I think maybe my absolute favorite Tempranillo I had at Inwood Estates a couple months ago, and it's their Cornelius. And oh my God, that was like, I just could not stop. First of all, I could not stop just smelling the glass. I mean, it was just this incredible like perfume of, just like dried fruit. And I mean, it was tobacco.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good aromatic profiles always set it apart for me. Like in wine, if you can get the aromatics down, I am 10 times more likely to enjoy your wine. It's like before you ever even get it in your mouth, you're already excited about it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you talked about Tempranillo having like a lot of different ways, expressions that it can show up, especially in Texas. And do you tend towards the lighter, lower alcohol, more lifted character, or are you more of the like big, robust, like an oak profile kind of style?
Before the Cornelius, I thought I was more of like the light, fruity kind of person, just like an afternoon on your front porch or something. But then I had the Cornelius, and that is definitely a big boy that you want like with a hearty meal. And so ever since then, now I'm starting to venture more in that direction.
Hey, and I think that's part of the fun, like part of wine, your wine journey, right? Is like, there's always something new, and you might have your mind changed and your palate is changing, and I think that's, for me, part of the excitement. There's always something new to try, or like go back and revisit something I used to not like. And like I had some really good Napa Chardonnay the other night, and I was like, I kind of hate myself for liking this, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't. I hate myself for liking this. It's good wine, and it tastes good. And it was a fruit bomb. It was a lot of oak. It was like, start out with like mango and pineapple and finish with like buttered popcorn. But I was in it, and I was into it, and it was a little bit, I don't know, like luscious maybe is the best word. And like, that is not what I look for in a wine. That's just not my taste, but whatever. On Sunday night, I was feeling it. Okay. So I appreciate that your journey has continued to help you like explore. I want to bring up some folks. First up, Luke, I'm going to come to you. Take a few questions, both from the comments, but also from our team. So, Luke, talk to me, bro. Questions
Hey.
about Tempranillo or other booze-related info from Ari?
I do. Ari, when I know you include us in all of your trips up to wine country, what else, when you're touring about in Texas wine country, what else is a part of your perfect wine country day? What do y'all have to do? What is your ideal?
Okay, well, I would say, so the last time we were in wine country, we actually visited a couple breweries, and that was fun. And honestly, I had never even been to downtown Fredericksburg before, and I fell in love with that little charming downtown area. That was so fun. So, and they have a couple breweries right there, and then obviously some winery tasting rooms, and so it's like you could just spend a weekend there, and it sounds perfect right now.
So it sounds
Nice.
like the introduction to Fredericksburg is still new to you, and you haven't carved out your regular spots yet.
Yes.
So maybe what I hear you saying is that our viewers could maybe pop into the comments and recommend where they need to send you.
Yes.
You're like your Fredericksburg fix-in once things start opening back up again.
Yes, absolutely. I
Okay.
think that's something we want to do.
Guys, you heard it here. So you're jumping in the comments right now. You're helping Ari out. She's been making recommendations for us. Luke, thanks for that question. There is somebody was asking about Rioja in here. Jeffrey is asking, does Rioja have the best Tempranillo grapes or what? Do you have opinions, thoughts, and feelings about this, Ari?
I mean, it's kind of the OG, right? The region that is most known for Tempranillo, and I think that there's a reason that it has become so known for that, for sure. So
yeah, and I think like it's okay to give love to the OG region, but also like understand and realize that when you grow the same grape variety in a different place, it's kind of it has the potential to show up totally differently. And I do think that Texas Tempranillos taste significantly different than Rioja. I think the big thing about Rioja too, and guys, we've been doing online wine school with our staff during quarantine, and Spain and specifically Rioja was the last unit that I was teaching our staff about. There are large amounts of other grapes that go into Rioja red wines. So Tempranillo, those are typically from Rioja. They're typically not 100% Tempranillo wines. There are things like Graciano and Mazuelo blended into them. And so you have to keep that in mind also when you're trying to compare them to 100% Tempranillos like you see a lot of times in Texas. Good question, though. I love this, Jeffrey. We always get to nerd out. I'm going to pull this up here. It is not Tempranillo related, but you're an Austinite and you care about food and drink. Bill asks, where can you find the best beef enchiladas and fresh salsa in Austin? I have some opinions, but I want to hear what you got. And well, maybe I should say, like, is this even a value to you? Is this something you seek out? Because I don't know are you a beef enchilada and salsa kind of person? Because maybe that doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm going to go to a Mexican restaurant, I'm going to have tacos al carbon, like fajita tacos.
Oh, yeah.
And queso. So, yeah.
Okay, well, where are you doing that then?
So there's actually this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant, like 5 minutes down the road from, I honestly can't even think of the name of it right now, but it's on 620, right past the Anderson Mill Light going north, and it's just this little hole-in-the-wall place that has amazing food. So
those are the best, like the ones in your neighborhood that are super tiny. A lot of people don't know about them, and you can just like roll in at any time of the day. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Now, I have very specific feelings about this. Like if we are just going straight up Tex-Mex style in Central Austin, for me, it's all about Amaya's. The specific location that's right there at 2222 and I-35 on the frontage road going southbound. I will beef enchilada lunch special you to death. And I will take like whole bowls of that salsa on top of those enchiladas. And then I'll get a side of flour tortillas. I'll cut up the enchilada in little segments. And then I'll spoon the beans, the rice, and the enchilada into another flour tortilla. And then like pour salsa over the top. And then I'll roll it up and have like an enchilada rice and beans taco, if that's even a thing. Sorry, guys. I'm totally like, you can tell I have been craving this kind of stuff while I've been stuck in my house. You guys also know that we had Celia on yesterday, who is the GM at Suerte, and they just started their taqueria situation today. This guy right here pre-ordered his Suadero tacos. So after happy hour over, you know where I'm going. Okay, so sorry, rabbit hole, guys. We're talking about beef enchiladas and fresh salsa, and we're supposed to be talking about Tempranillo. Maybe I'm not sorry, but I love it. JR is saying that you got to get to Chase's place, Fredericksburg's first craft cocktail bar.
I actually did hear about this place. Yeah.
Dirk is saying you got to try Prospective Cellars in Fred's. Brian's is on the way out on 290. Tempe is saying El Dorado. Man, guys, this is a lot of great. Keep up with the Fred recommendations, because guys, at some point we're going to be making those trips back out to wine country, and we need the spots in Fred to go to, myself included, guys. Full disclosure, a lot of times it's hard for me to get coming from Austin past William Chris. I like get to William Chris, I hang out at William Chris, and I come back to Austin. And so I need those spots in Fred. Like, where do I need to be going to eat and drink and enjoy myself? So don't stop with those recommendations. We are going to play a short game of this or that. It has been a minute. So first of all, Ari, thank you so much for dropping your love of Tempranillo. I'm going to have to try some of the other wineries Tempranillos that you recommended, especially that Cornelius. I got to figure that out and get a bottle of that to try. But I would like to invite you, Ari, and some of our other special guests. We are going to play a short game of this or that. If you've never played this before, I'm giving you two options. Only two options. You can only pick one. And we're going to start out with a booze-oriented, because it's happy hour, and that's what we talk about, a booze-oriented round one, this or that. So I'm going to post this round one in the comments, and then I'm going to take Ari off so she has time to like think and collect her thoughts before I put her on the spot. But round one of this or that, guys, we're bringing it back. I need to know tequila or whiskey. And I'm going to pull Ari off so she has time to collect her thoughts while she's not on camera. Tequila or whiskey, guys. I know we had Jessica Sanders on here last Friday talking about all the awesome things tequila that we could do. I have previously explained some of my feelings and thoughts about these kinds of spirits, but you can only pick one. Okay, guys, tequila or whiskey. And maybe we should open that up to like agave or whiskey, because, you know, whiskey is a very big category that includes things like Scotch and bourbon and Tennessee whiskey and lots of other things. And tequila is a little narrow, so maybe it's agave or whiskey. And we are already having folks chime in. I need to know some reasons. I love you voting in the comments, but like, convince me, brah. Like, gotta give me a reason why I should love either tequila or whiskey. But Kelsey, I am coming to you first. I hope you're ready for this one.
I'm ready.
Kelsey, talk to me. Tequila or whiskey?
I would say tequila because margaritas have tequila in them.
Okay.
I like margaritas.
So you're just going the straight margarita reasoning. I appreciate that. You're a purist. Yep. So tequila it is for Kelsey. Luke, we're coming for you. Luke, talk to me. Tequila
it's
or
hard.
whiskey?
It's hard to choose a favorite child, but I love whiskey for all this crazy crafty cocktail and all the interesting things I've had. I love sitting at a bar and just telling the bartender, all right, do your worst, surprise me, show me something interesting. When it comes to tequila, for me, it's either in a margarita or I like to have tequila neat. So that being said, I would have to choose tequila.
Okay.
Tequila. I like a neat tequila and just a really long, slow burn sipping. Yeah.
I love that. Sipping tequila it is. A little bit of burn in the chest. You heard it from Luke first. All right, Ari. We've had 2 tequila votes and a lot of whiskey and tequila in the comments. Like, where are you going with your choice here?
Obviously, I do love whiskey because I get those old fashions. But ultimately, I'd probably go with tequila too. And actually, I would broaden it to, like you said earlier, agave, because mezcal might be my most favorite spirit in the entire world. I love the sort of smoky, incredible, like kind of funky expression that you get from it. It's I can sip that neat. I can sip it in cocktails. It's so good.
Well, it sounds like Veronica in the comments is here to agree with you with her love of mezcal as well. Guys, that's 3 votes for tequila, or excuse me, for agave. Let's just call it that. We have some, and for 3 different reasons. I don't know if you noticed that. One was because of margaritas. One was because they love sipping on tequila, and one because they love mezcal. Y'all, this has been all over the place. Margaret is up here with whiskey, tequila because of margaritas. Man, guys, there's just so many, gosh, loving of scotch, vodka, Alta. There are rules to the game and you are breaking them. You need to stop it right now, though I appreciate your recipe in the comments, so thank you. But guys, there are rules to this or that, and you know you can only have one, and it's not a choice C. For me, guys, and if I could right now, and I totally mess up my setup here, I moved in December to this place that I'm sitting in, and I had an extensive bar that I built up for 5, 6+ years to make great cocktails at home. Many thanks to Jessica Sanders and Drinkwell. I learned how to make a lot of cocktails from their team. And I got rid of everything. Actually gave a lot of it to my friend JR, who's in the comments, a lot of Amaros and spirits and bitters and all that kind of stuff. The one category that I kept that is still in my cabinet that is not wine, whiskey. I kept all of my whiskey, guys. I am a bourbon freak. I have some very special editions of Blanton's. I have crazy amounts of brown goodness in my cabinet. And there is no better spirit, in my opinion, than that of Kentucky bourbon, specifically. Now, if we're going to talk about a broad category, it's whiskey, but specifically Kentucky bourbon. I'm there all day. Okay, we're going to switch it up and go a little bit. Guys, last night I was in mood for a sappy movie. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this. I took a lot of recommendations for sappy movies, which, by the way, can we talk about? A lot of people don't understand the definition of sappy. You know, just because it's a rom-com doesn't mean it's sappy, okay? But I have an important movie-based round 2, and it is Sorry Not Sorry about rom-coms here. I need to know what is better, and I do have very strong opinions about this, Notting Hill or The Holiday. And there is only one right answer to this question. So I'm going to need you to drop in the comments, and don't you forget, I need to know why. So don't give me this like I'm just voting thing. Notting Hill or The Holiday, guys. Strong opinions, and if you haven't seen these movies, add them to your queue. No time like a rainy day in quarantine to get you some good rom-com, okay? Ari, we're coming to you first. We ended with you last. I know this is maybe a little bit outside of your journalistic wheelhouse, but I trust that you're coming with a strong opinion here.
Well, I guess so, because I saw Notting Hill a few years ago. Haven't really seen it since. I do love Hugh Grant. But I see The Holiday every year at Christmas. It's just, I love it. It's so good.
Okay, any particular storyline or character in that movie?
I love Iris and Jack, or I'm switching up the names here, but Kate Winslet and Jack Black's storyline. I just think that, you know, her second chance is so sweet.
She tries to give it away, though, for a little while. I'm like, go back to the other guy, and you're like, what are you doing? Sorry, spoiler alert, guys. Let's maybe not do that for folks. Hopefully you've seen The Holiday, guys, by now. Okay, we got one vote for The Holiday. Ari is in with her vote. Luke, we're coming to you. Luke, opinions here?
Yeah, Notting Hill, I mean, I love stuttering Hugh Grant, and gotta love that. Julia Roberts is America's Sweetheart for a reason, but in the holiday, the storylines are a bit more fleshed out and interesting, and you get 2 for 1. You have 2 romances happening, so I'll go with the holiday.
Okay, there's another vote for the holiday. Kelsey, talk to me.
I am gonna say the holiday. What?
The holiday.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
I like the whole storyline, and it's just like it's all like a happy ending, and there's multiple love stories. I agree.
Man. Okay, guys, this is a lot of holiday love, so I gotta balance it out from the comments. JR, the first 5 minutes of Notting Hill versus any 5 minutes of the holiday is a clear Notting Hill win. They have some strong words. I love when people have like just those 5 minutes you don't even know. Like they're so passionate. It's like you got to watch from minute 39:06 to 42:03, and you're like, that'll convince you. So I love that passion and bringing it, JR. Who else is loving on Notting Hill over here? A lot of folks are saying Notting Hill because they live on that street or that neighborhood. Guys, I mean, come on. Yeah, you're going to be better than that. Alan is talking about Hugh and Julia being magic. Everybody's like, I got to watch Notting Hill again. Guys, no doubt, Notting Hill for the win. It is not even close, in my opinion. I love the holiday. Don't get me wrong. There are some great moments in there. I actually really like the Cameron Diaz storyline, especially with the single dad and the kids and everything, like in a little cottage in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm in it. It's a holiday favorite. It's a fun rom-com, but it is no Notting Hill. And it is no, like, God, can we just talk about the different moments in that movie? Like the scuba mask roommate, like who wears ridiculous clothes, who eventually falls in love with the other crazy girl. And then the moment where she's like, I'm just a girl standing in front of a guy asking him to love her. Like, are you freaking kidding me? One of the best lines in a movie ever. And then there's like the whole, like he's giving the debrief to his friends group. And he's like, I screwed up, didn't I? And they're all like, yeah. And then there is a rom-com car chase. I don't know if you catch this, but like, this is a classic car chase scene inserted into a rom-com without like a bad guy chasing them. It's just like their own bad decisions chasing them. And they're trying to get to the press conference. And like, what rom-com has that? Like, come on. Notting Hill for the win, no doubt. Like, you get to the end. Sorry, I'm totally giving away spoilers. You got to go watch it again. The ending at the press conference. And you're like, what if this guy was to like, you know, the reporter from Horse and Hound has another question, you know, sorry, my worst like British accent. Okay, enough about Notting Hill. I love it. Guys, we are 5:41. It is time to end happy hour. I'm going to bring all of our guests back up, but you know, I got to talk about the golden ticket. So don't you go anywhere because these 3 things are coming. And I got to talk about this hat that I'm wearing. Oh, show. Tina, I saw that telling me to get over it. Okay. I love you. I'm not getting over Notting Hill. It's so good. Guys, we have 3 important announcements for you. 1, golden tickets are still out there. I think I saw Leah mention something.
Yeah.
You want to give an update there?
Yeah, so we actually 2 have gone out. So we still have 3 left. That's 1 at curbside, 1 in shipping, and there is going to be 1 on Saturday for a virtual live tasting. A random person that watches the virtual live tasting will get it.
So you're saying even if you don't get it in your shipment, there is 1 person that's still going to get a golden ticket during the live virtual tasting.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's that first announcement. Go get your virtual tasting pack, guys, because you need the virtual tasting pack. You want to get that golden ticket, even if you didn't already get it. Go get it. And guys, add 2 bottles. You already know this. Code Happy Hour gets you 10% off. Add those 2 bottles so you get free shipping. Like, why not? You know you're going to drink them. I'm going to drink them. Like, it's going to happen. 6 bottles? Come on. Second, these really awesome hats. Guys, let's be honest. Mine's getting a little sweaty because I've got bright lights on my face right now so you can see them. I'll flip it around so I get a little breathing. Guys, really cool William Chris logo. These hats are the best things since sliced bread in the apparel world, so go get them. The link's right there in the comments. Third, and definitely not least, tomorrow's White Wine Wednesday. I'm going to drink Skeleton Key White. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun. Ari, thank you for being here. I would love for you to cheers us out for today. Who are we cheersing to?
I think we should cheers to the service industry for either having, to be out of work right now, or they're putting their lives at risk, keeping everyone fed.
And I'm going to add on to that journalists who are making sure we're staying informed and on top of everything that's going on. So thanks to people like you and your colleagues. Very important folks right now. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. So good to see you. We'll be right back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow. This Grenache is so good. Y'all want to get some?